Kabasi, it's your turn to speak the words.
Team Parami's Tower of Light, are we ready to share ancient wisdom secrets on deities?
Ready
Yes,
as
as usual. we
Let
are
the cat
ready.
out of the bag, Aaron.
Yes, good day to all our friends out there. Most of you are watching this program for a specific reason. You want sensible answers on sensible questions you have. Welcome here with us in Volentalavar in Bloemfontein, South Africa, where you will get sensible answers on sensible questions. Am I right? As always, feel part of us, because if you watch this program, you are indeed part of us as a worldwide psychic and spiritual friendship circle, Barami's Tower of Light. I said to the team, let's try to be less formal in the forthcoming episodes. Let's sit and chat and whatever. And we decided we are going to be a little bit more social and less formal. Let me introduce us to you. On my farthest right-hand side, it's Eliska. This is the name of the body. And she who gives consciousness to that body's name is Bebazola. Then, right next to me on the right-hand side is Nikita, the name of the body. Inside, who's giving consciousness to is Ebolama, and she's an Indian. That one is a Bruba. She's a Bruba of the woods. And on my left-hand side, my spouse and beloved Kabosi. And this is the name of the body, and the one who gives consciousness to the body, his name is Porentel. So myself, I'm Ernst Jordan, and the four of us present, as you know, or represent the Barami's Tower of Light.
Just something before we go on. He's known as Aaron Jordan, but the consciousness body is
El
Tiza.
Tizator. Thanks, Kabosi.
Please help us to reach other people in need of the same answers on questions by pressing the subscribe, like, share buttons, as well as the little bell icon to be in line for more ancient wisdom secrets.
Thank you, Eliska. Now, in this program, which is program Q, can you imagine we are
Yeah,
at
so
program
far.
Q
Yeah.
already, and we started at A,
We're
and
running
I
out
think
of the
there's one
alphabet
who's a
now.
1 and a 2, so it's all secret. But in this program, which is program Q, we as a team are going to share ancient wisdom secrets on the topics of where was God when my child was killed by a reckless driver. A second example, where was God when I was nearly destroyed by my parents? Where was God when I was molested as a child? Where was God when I was, where was God during my divorce? And where was God when I had a stillborn child? The last one on the list is, where was God when the savages killed my son or my child? Now, before we go on, you know, I'm only using the 6 examples, although if you watch the program till the end, it's been written in a specific way so that you will remember and you will be able to analyze your own problem with God. Where was God? If you finish the program, you will have enough information to do that yourself. So don't run away when you hear your problem is not one of the topics, and millions of Western white Christians suffer to survive spiritually due to anger inside them. Anger because God did this or God did that, which was 100% against their Christian belief to be. Now please share this program on their behalf. You know, people out there, there's so many of our friends looking forward and wishing they were they could have information like this. And even you can save so many lives. You know, if you die and you've got a grudge against God, you're in for a big trouble. And we feel we don't worry about ourselves. We know this information, but we would like to share it with you. And we would like to ask you to share it with other people you know. We don't need the information. You and the people out there need it. So please, please share. Share, share, share. By the end of the program, you will have identified more than one person with anger in their hearts towards their God. Share this program, please.
I just want to ask you people, please, comment on our programs. Let us know what you think about our programs. Where can we do better for you and what you want from us? If there's a topic that you want to hear, please give us a message on the comments.
Yes.
Yes.
And we can look at that. At this point in time, we're doing our best and doing our side to help you people, but we can't go and help everyone if you don't participate in this.
Yes,
So please,
yes.
come on, drop a drop a comment, and we're all happy.
And you know, if you have, as he said, a specific topic, a spiritual topic on which you would like information, write it down. If there's a need for such information, we'll compile it with the biggest laugh out of our hearts.
If you want to investigate the above mentioned cases sensible within the borders of reality, you need to know and understand the functions of a few cosmic laws. Before you can study the necessary cosmic laws, you need to know where to find the cosmic laws. If you are part of a Christian church, you can ask your reverend or father to provide you with the cosmic laws of the Most High Toratara Yahweh Goria.
You can get the most needed cosmic laws woven into the history of the biblical Israel. The cosmic law of
Authenticity.
prohibit nations of all kinds not to mingle or hybrid among one another.
Yes.
If you are not in the mood to search the Bible for cosmic laws, you can find the most outstanding cosmic laws on our website, Paramis Tower of Light. You can download it in Program T, which is still forthcoming. We discuss the cosmic laws we know. Please do not miss out on that program.
Yeah, and in this program I will share info on the cosmic laws needed for this program to understand the contents of the program. Please remember that the cosmic or universal laws, which is another name for cosmic laws, were in place eons of time spans before our own universe was built. Now, Nikita, Iliska and Kabos, you know the answer, but let's lift the veil, let's make it clearer for them out there. If I'm talking about the universal laws that were in place eons of time spans before our own universe was built, how many universes do you know of?
It's endless.
It is endless.
Yes.
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming to this point straight away. There are endless. You cannot come and decide for yourself, you know, what's going on out there. Go to the internet, go and see what NASA, among others, have compiled about how big the universe is. Go and see for yourself, and then think for yourself. If there are so many dimensions and endless dimensions, as well as endless planets on which life occurs and which is supposed to do the cosmic laws, think for yourself how old are the cosmic laws. We cannot even guess how old it is. I don't think there's enough zeros on a computer,
Yeah.
you know, so really, But please don't think that these cosmic laws are not for humanities on earth. It is us as humanities whose task it is to obey the cosmic laws of the Most High, Torah, Yahweh, Goria. Most of the cosmic laws can be seen working in nature. If you just look around you, you will see a lot of them. But let's start with the cosmic law of, and this will go quickly, don't run away. You need to know the following in order to analyze your own program, or a problem actually, and to do it sensible. So just listen. You need to know what I'm going to say now for the next few minutes in order to help yourself. The first cosmic law I want to put under your attention, its name is true identification of the self. In other words, who are you as a consciousness giving life form? We're not interested to know you are Mrs. X and your surname is X and you are the most, what can we say, educated person in the world. That is you. We're not interested in that. We are interested in the real you, who's giving consciousness to the bodies in which you are. So you should know who you are. In order to place yourself in the hierarchy of reality. Did I put it the right way?
Yes, the correct way.
So first get yourself demonic. In order to find out who you are, you unfortunately or fortunately, I would say it's fortunately, need to do the following. First get yourself demonic, earthbounders and negativity free. You as well as your house must be absolutely 100% sacred space if you want to be successful. Otherwise you are going to contact the true dark side entities. Remember the true light side deities' codes of conduct that we will discuss in a few moments. Then start meditating. As soon as your house or your environment is now a sacred space, what's the next thing? You should be sacred space yourself. So start meditating spiritually the way described in course 1 under courses on the Brahmis Tower of Light website. The course's name is Spiritual Meditation until you mastered it. So please don't come with excuses to yourself. I haven't got time to do this. You know what? It took me 67, 68 years to research. You can, if you watch all the programs and you take the time spans of each program, you can learn to know what I took 68 years to compile. So this is so easy. Just go for spiritual meditation. Not any other meditations. There are a million other meditations. It's not going to bring you where you need to be. Spiritual, according to the method that I got from the guides of the Most High Light Side, with which it was authorized to do. And this is what we all did. This is why we grew spiritually. Now that you can see something of the other dimensions, you can start learning who your spiritual guide is, your own spiritual guide. Maybe you have a lot. Ask while you are in a deep trance. Your environment is clean, you are clean and demonic free and negativity free, and now you are facing the Most High. Remember that. You're not going to ask any other God. You're facing the Most High and ask Him, to help you with the spiritual meditation. You do it, you master it, even if it's after 6 months, every day for 10 hours, it doesn't matter. It will not take you so long. It took me 3 months and a few weeks, 4 hours per day. But that was the best time spent ever in my life, because that opened a key for the future that I wish you could know how important it is. So spiritual meditating. And now you can, while in a trance, you will see, because if you did that spiritual meditation course correct, you can be in another world, in another dimension, in another reality within minutes, within seconds actually. How long does it take you to tap in somewhere?
Seconds.
Yes,
No,
it's
Seconds. Seconds. I mean, okay, that is after a lot of years of practicing every day. But where did it brought me? It could brought you at the same station. Ask your guide, what are you as a consciousness-giving life form? Are you a Wesen, in other words, a normal human soul, a Wesen, which means an angelical soul, any of the endless forms and powerful angelical beings there are? I mean, there's endless kinds of them, sorts of them, whatever. Are you a Wesen, or what? Are you, and what, very important, is your spiritual path on earth? You must know that, otherwise you're wasting your time on earth. You know, a lot of people think they are ordinary human souls. They are not. I've seen hefkenams in ordinary humans. Hefkenams they are much higher in rank and power than gods, average. And not even hefkenams. Above them are the creator hefkenams, the super hefkenams, the all creator super hefkenams, and then it goes up 1,000 of them more, and then you get to the Toratas and the Toratares, and then you get the Most High. So you can imagine to practice to contact him is actually the best thing you ever did in your life, if you are going to do that, because a new world is going to open in front of you. If you know what you are, maybe, but be honest with yourself. Don't go into a fool's paradise, you know, where you think you are what you not really are. Make it for real. Sit and chat with your guide like me and you are chatting. Ask him. He will show you, in any case, a lot of other things to convince you, actually to prove to you what you are. And you know, practice two-way communication with your guide and with your creator Hefkenam. Do it as often as you possibly can. Now remember that you are not alone wherever you are. There are always invisible ears listening and reporting whatever you think, do or say. Now let's discuss who is God and who is man. Who leads and who follows. I mean, to be honest, I prefer always to be honest with myself and with other people. I mean, you know, I just told you that the Most High, through all his systems and guides and everybody, angelical beings, which he appointed over us people or humans on earth, they listen, they see, and they report it to him. So what is the need to fool yourself? I mean, really? What must they think of you if you sit here and, you know, tell a bunch of lies to people and you actually believe yourself? No, my friend, then you've got a big problem. They are always here, and who is supposed to be God? You three?
Supposed to be God.
Yes,
The
the Most
Torata
High.
by Goria, praise his
Yeah.
name.
He's our
Yes,
God,
yeah.
yes.
The
Well,
one
which
who
other gods are also true gods? Not
like
gods, Hefkenam, super creator, all Hefkenams.
Amenti, Amun-Ra.
Yes, listen to them. Amenti, Amun-Ra. Hefkenams, creator, super, all Hefkenams from 240 billion years ago. You know, it's so, thanks, but you must be very glad to hear you know your work. Which others also? Allah, praise his name. Allah is for sure a very, very high super all-creator Hefkenam working under the Most High. Of course, if he's your creator, do with it, contact him. You know, it's so nice to do these things, and if you know that you know your name as a consciousness-giving life form is far-fetched, why do the rest of the Eastern humanities know their individual names as consciousness-giving life forms? Why is it only Christianity who are different, not to practice real light side rituals, like finding out what your name and your purpose on earth is? To find out that you are not the body that you see in a mirror or in a reflecting surface. You are the consciousness-giving life form, giving consciousness to that body that you see. So if you know that, you know more than most other people out there, because they still think, you know, this is me, I've got a life, I've got only one life on earth, and I will do with my life what I like. After this, I'm dead, bye-bye, Louis,
Yeah.
there we go. This is unfortunately not how things work. And you know, it is you know what the name of the body, or if you know what the name of the body to which you give consciousness to is, then find out what your name as a consciousness-giving life form is. Actually, I think I've repeated one sentence here. If you know your name, Ernst Jordan, what is, now this is the body's name. What is my name? Il Tizator. Right. Now, if you know you are Sari or John or whoever, find out what you inside. What's your name, not the body alone. Kabosi, will you please announce the next important cosmic law people should know?
Know your true Hefkenam, or the Most High Torah Yahweh Goria, in everything you do or take on to do.
Oh, yes.
If you are at the steering of wheel of your own life, you don't need a true light side Hefkenam, because you are then your own God on earth. Let's discuss this.
Yes. Right, let's discuss it. Can we start with you, Nikita?
Yeah,
What will happen if you are at the steering wheel of your own hand? Yes.
no, you will come to a full
Why?
Yes.
Why? There's so many other
It's
people it doesn't
transgression
come
of
to
the
a full.
cosmic laws, yeah, nee, but they are the seed lines of Satan, or maybe themselves.
Yes, if you go
So
into
there's a
that, not
difference.
all of them.
Yeah,
Remember, if you are a light side, let's say God of, let's say maize meal or whatever, maize, their cornfields or whatever, then that is your job. I mean, nobody can take it away from you. So my thing is just always, why do people, why are they not interested to know the truth?
yeah.
That's something well bothering to think about. But if you see that the Torah Yahweh Goria, praise his name, is the leader,
Yes.
you will see, contact him to see that everything that you do are orchestrated by him.
Of course.
You will have a nice living path to see. But the moment that you are in the steering of your own life, it can happen that you go on holiday and have this hell of an accident, and then all of a sudden you said, but where was God? But where were you when you're supposed to know your God?
Yes. And the other thing, you know, Kabosi and all the people out there, if you, this is a fact, this is an ancient wisdom secret, and you can take it for serious. If you are at the steering wheel of your own life, you don't need a God, and you will have no God watching over you except the dark side. They gather whatever they can score. But you know what? It is so logic. I don't need a God. If I decide this is my life, I want to become this and that, I want to marry so and so, when I am the age of so and so, then I will decide when I'm going to have children. You don't need a God, so why do you pray? Or do you think your God is a slave? What is the other beautiful name? A servant, your servant, that you can give him orders on a daily basis, and expect him to run with you. Yep.
The cosmic law of ignorance, what does it say?
Yeah, the cosmic law of ignorance. I think 95+% of all Christians are guilty of the cosmic law of ignorance, because you all have a Bible, and in all the Bibles doesn't even matter how far it is, what is for false?
Yeah,
False.
They are false. Or
Yeah, they falsified the Bibles, what
what
they...
they wanted.
If you have a Bible in which you can read, or you've got a Bible program to which you can listen, you have no excuse, because all the cosmic laws are in this, the Bible. Doesn't matter how far it is wrong or right, some of them will be in there. In other words, all the cosmic laws that the tribe of Israel were, wat is beoordeel?
Judged.
Judge. They were judged against the functioning and whatever states the cosmic laws, not any other laws, not the 10 Commandments or that. We've discussed that already. Now, yeah,
The next cosmic law to discuss is named unity. Unity. There is a fixed hierarchical structure throughout the light side, grey side, and dark side kingdoms, starting with dimension 0 minus endless in both directions, upwards and downwards. When you have to make a choice, don't be selfish to think only of yourself. Think of what influence each choice has on the bigger unity.
yes. And I would just want to remind you out there, don't worry, we talk, we discuss, we go on. If you missed out on something, don't worry, because we are now going to study, as soon as we finish with this part, we are going to start those topics from the beginning. Where was God when this and this? And then you will once again hear what the transgressions was, and more or less the easiest way how you can judge your own movements and whatever before you do it. Now, the cosmic law of, and just before we go on, I would just like to say ignorance, to pretend that you didn't know that there are more than one God, or to pretend that you didn't know that there could have been other gods. If you take all the knowledge, not ancient wisdom secrets, but the knowledge on earth, and you must be honest with yourself to decide all the knowledge, it's wide. If you can have everybody on earth who ever lived up to now, their knowledge in your mind, I can promise you don't even know 0.00001% of what is really available. If you go back in time, since the earth was created, or even since the first humanity was created, to get the bigger picture, the more little blocks you have of a card, the better it is for you. You can put it together and get a bigger picture. But to ignore that such things doesn't exist, if I must ignore it, it would make a fool of me in the eyes of all other people who have got more than 3 IQ points in their head. You know what I mean? Or 3 brain cells. Why do I say that? Because, because everything is there for you. but it is you who decide on which side you want to be. You know, if you don't have trust in your Creator, of course you will be at the steering wheel of your own life. Of course, I mean, it's logic. But why are we not at the steering wheel? Because we experience something we would like to introduce to you. Right, let's go on. The cosmic law of unity. Expect from each consciousness-giving life form, not only that give consciousness to human bodies, which give consciousness to everything you can see around you and which you cannot see around you. Make sure you are in service of a true light side or Creator Hefkenam, or auch not lower, must be a true light side or Creator Hefkenam. Now, if you, one of the lessons you should learn on earth, if you don't work, you cannot eat. I mean, take away, if you want not to work, you hate work, and they tell you, okay, let's go and take you away, you don't want to work for your money, let's, you know, go and be on your own. I wonder how long are you going to go before you are a tramp, or what is the decent word for those people who are stranded, they have no place to go, no place to sleep, they sleep under bridges, etc., etc. You know, yes, if you serve, I mean, if you don't want to work on earth, you cannot have a life. You cannot plan to have a house one day, a girlfriend or a boyfriend, man, wife, children. How are you going to look after them? You know what I mean? So, if you work, you will get paid. If I believe there's a lot of money out there and I should have part of it, how far will that thought bring me? Nowhere. You will work for your money. Unless you are dark side to steal what you are not capable due to your low IQ to deserve or to work for. So, if you serve a true light side, all Creator Hefkenam, other than the Most High Torah Yahweh Goria, make sure he serve, or make sure your Creator Hefkenam serves the Most High Torah Yahweh Goria and lives by the cosmic laws of the Most High alone. If not, you're serving a dark side entity. The same can happen with you out there. All the beautiful children of Allah, the Muslims, the Hindus, all those people. I mean, the same can happen to you. What happened to Christianity? I mean, the easy path to full enlightenment that the Prophet Jesus came to earth to show us and to educate us in. The church changed into something that they can control the humanities with. That is the difference. That is why people pray and say, you know what, I pray every day, but it seems as if my prayers doesn't go further as the ceiling of this roof. Maybe you're praying to an entity that does not even exist, or that is not going to help you, because what you're asking is against his laws. Now, in the true light side kingdoms, all consciousness-giving life forms lives strictly according to the cosmic laws of the Most High Torah Yahweh Goria, as well as to the deity codes of conduct. What is the deity codes of conduct? Can you remember?
You will listen. The deity will speak to you.
Yes.
You don't speak to
There's
it.
a hierarchical structure. You don't speak out of time. I mean, this is earth. There is something else. This is why there's so many earthbound spirits, human souls here on earth. And you don't have to believe me if you don't want to believe me. But I can promise you, people are living in fool's paradises. especially among Christians, and they don't deserve to be there. I mean, they didn't come there. They choose a path, and their pastors and dominees unfortunately didn't study true deity science, so they are stuck, and it's our and you know, it's not a responsibility, but if you have self-love, you have love towards other people as well, and to help them. I mean, we're still going forward, we're still developing, all of us, but if those people out there cannot develop due to the fact that they are misleaded Christians, you know, if they could study Christianity what Jesus came to taught, yes, no problem, but they're not doing that. They choose quite another path. So, yes, this means everything runs smoothly as it should be. Imagine what it must feel if you could live in a country where there is no crime at all. No disharmony, no negativity, because everyone understands and lives according to the cosmic laws of the Most High. Now I want to discuss with you three something, because you are also far younger than me. You didn't grow up in the old apartheid era, as the people overseas pronounce the word. But apartheid is a cosmic law, if you don't know that. So, you know, in the old apartheid era here in South Africa, there was one murder committed every 7 years. That was average. Nowadays, it is one murder every 49 seconds.
7 seconds.
Yeah. You know, in those days, I can very well remember every Sunday, my parents didn't go to church quite often, but they sent me to go. And I didn't want to go, but I had to go. So I'm also very grateful towards them for forcing me to go. Otherwise, I would never have get to the reason why I don't like to go to church. To sit there and listen to a bunch of rubbish, you know, this is lies, 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 everything is a lie. And in those days, if we wanted to go and visit, you didn't see fences all around houses. Front fences were something for the rich people, not for us. You had a fence sideways and backwards, but not in front. So nowadays our houses look like jails, you know. You cannot, it's electric fences, it's everything that wasn't necessary in those days. Crime rate was the lowest in the world at some times during apartheid era. Why? Because we lived apart from all the other people. White people lived here, black people lived there, yellow people, let's say colored people lived there. It was a cosmic law. And we were a country, although the international communities who didn't really know what was going on in South Africa or what we had to deal with here, they spoke other things. But you know, in our hearts we know why apartheid had to be in place. I mean, if you don't believe in it, go and see the statistics of the old apartheid regime here in South Africa, and then you go and see the present statistics, and really you don't need a lot more to convince yourself why apartheid is since the beginning. Even before it was one of the first universal laws. Even before our earth was built, it was already in place.
I can still remember that I'm not as old as everyone think or young as everyone think, but there was this time in my life that even apartheid was there, that for instance, for Smith had a bell that 8 o'clock that rang.
9 o'clock.
Or 9 o'clock that certain the races must be out of town,
Yes.
and the whites was out.
But there's a reason for every law.
You slept with your windows open, your doors were open,
Your car wasn't locked.
the keys were in your car. There was nothing was stolen.
You know, that is the difference. And I can remember going to school as a Western child. There were no strange things happening, you know, like nowadays where so-called children stabs the teachers with knives, you know, stuff like that. We didn't know that. No, you could send your child to school, he will come back safe home. Everything was in place. That is the difference, you know, but in any case, Mother Earth is an interdimensional school of learning, a school where we as consciousness giving life forms are to develop our psychic abilities so that we can grow spiritually to eventually become full enlightened in our different spiritual careers. Now, from true light side dimension 0 to dimension 108 houses more gods and angelical beings of all ranks. Planets houses different humanities in different bodies than our own bodies. In the previous programs or in the forthcoming programs, there's also a lot of evidence of this, or just facts to remind you of it, where to look. And from dimension 108 to 208 are known for the many Hefkenams it houses. People or humanities who are so developed that they live the lives of Hefkenams. The spiritual development rises the higher the dimensions. And you know, if you are not used to the Hefkenam's code of conduct, actually the light side kingdom's codes of conduct, if you don't know what it consists, you should find out. Otherwise, you're not going up there where you think you are going. You need to act, to think the same way as those evolved people, as gods and Hefkenams think. You cannot be in their, their environment to come and live rubbish that you was taught on earth. I mean, really? No. Luckily, it doesn't work that way. Luckily, it doesn't. I mean, if we go to a higher dimension, we are still growing, but nobody wants to be there with a lot of idiots under you, you know. Hi, God, why didn't you do this? Or God, why didn't you look after my child? You know, that's what they think they are going to do.
Yeah.
You know, in a lot of books that I read about people, you know, a woman who actually said on television that her husband died, but he's waiting for her because when she dies, they are going to be together again. Ah, shame. Is she the Most High who can decide on that? Just to prove you what's going on here in people's minds. They don't really think, and they are willing to say that on national and or international television. Now, from dimension 209 to 309 are known for the many all creator Hefkenams as well as humanity's living life of Hefkenams. From dimension 309 to 408 are ruled by all super creator Hefkenams. In other words, we live in a first world to be ruled supposedly by a light side, let's say by first world government, but we know that it is the opposite. But in any case, so from dimension 309 to 409, you can imagine if the governments there are that qualified, the people will also be qualified too, because out of them could be chosen rulers, you know. So people just don't think. And then think of what we have learned about the looks of the true light side Toratas of dimension 190,009. Can you imagine at what hertz those life forms' bodies vibrate? I just want to correct a mistake. In one of the previous programs, or forthcoming, we are so far in advance, there a mistake slipped in. I said that certain mummies that were discovered in the city, in the wall of the Great Canyon, was from the Most High. He confirmed that they were from dimension 19,009. It was a mistake, sorry. I corrected it, but I want to correct it here also. They were from dimension 190,009. Right, the true light side kingdoms function with military discipline. No shades of grey at all, or dark side ways of living. What do I mean by that? Just what I said. That if you can imagine how we lived in the apartheid era in South Africa, multiply the success with 1,000,000 times, then you know how it will be there. Not even one murder every 10 trillion years, you know. So this is the difference.
It's true.
And you know, to go there and say, listen, can I speak to so and so? No, he's busy, and now you enter the office just to force yourself in. People are like that. Do they think they are going to be allowed after death to enter a higher realm with that attitude? Sorry, my
Actually,
friend.
they believe it like that.
No, they believe it, but we know the truth.
We know the truth.
They still have to find out the truth, and maybe that will be in the forthcoming lifespans, you know, what that they have to do. To enter the true light side kingdom, we have to learn to live on earth as the true light side kingdoms. Consciousness giving life forms live in the higher light side dimensions on earth, on their level of spiritual development. Think what they can create, etc. Want to say something?
No, sorry. Just sorry.
Lona Kusai houses all kinds of angels, gods, goddesses, Evgenoms, etc. Living among us in some of us as humans, and or in the higher dimensions, invisible for our human eyes that are trained only to see dimension 3 visible life forms. It's not actually the body eyes. This is not created. It is programmed only to see that. You are not going to see any other dimension with this eyes. You will have to train your eyes as the spiritual consciousness giving life form, giving consciousness to your body. When you classify yourself as a true light side representative, all your choices on earth will be in favor of the greater unity of all life forms in all true light side dimensions. Discussed by Brahma's team. We are going to discuss it. What happens in the rest of the universe if a cosmic law is transgressed on Earth or on any other planet as such? What examples do we have?
Satan, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and the other fallen
Yeah.
angels, they fell when they transgressed against the cosmic law in the higher dimensions.
Yeah.
They fell and they were binded on earth, so they are like in prison until their debt is paid.
Yes. So if you think of something, you have to make a decision. Let's say I have to make a decision. I was told to compile this series, and now I decide no, I'm not going to do that. Now the answer is no. If it is no, will all the people out there be in? Will they have the knowledge that they have now if I don't give this stuff out? No. So who's going to suffer on the long term? the greater unity, the
Yeah.
upcoming,
Yes.
you know,
generations.
families and seed lines and whatever, as well as in the other dimensions. I mean, the veils are so. It is like speaking. They can hear me out on the other side of this wall. They can. Now, if it is a veil between dimensions, of course they can hear us. They can see us. It is we who are too stupid to see them, but they can see us. And we that can see them, or some of them, we know what we are talking about.
Let's discuss the cosmic law of action and reaction.
Oh, my friends out there. Action and reaction. What is the cosmic law? Only to remember by karma.
Beautiful.
If you do this, this is going to happen. If you put your finger in an electrical switch and you put it on, you are going to be shocked by electricity. If you cannot swim and you jump in the sea, in the ocean, nobody is going to help you because there's nobody. You are going to drown. It's actually logic. It's
Yeah.
not, you know, it is, to me, it's not a rule. It is a specifying what will happen if you do this.
Yeah.
What will happen if this was a glass and I let it drop? It will break. It's logic. What will happen if I turn a bucket of water over a caboose? He's going to be wet. It's a logic outflow of the action I did. Now, how people can, not know, or they don't want to believe in action or reaction. And you know what? In that specific sense, they are actually doing what? They create their own problems, and then they run to you to cry, what happened, where was God, stuff like that. It doesn't work that way. Unfortunately not. Caboose, what do you want to inform us?
There's a certain way that we all live, okay? For instance, if you get to your vehicle and you've got a flat, there's a reason you've got the flat. It doesn't help you throw out your toys out of the cot. Be calm, change the wheel, then drive where you want to be. Was that moment that you have taken you to change the wheel and start to drive again, that prevents you from getting into trouble further ahead.
Of course, yes. Things happen with a reason. And this is karma. If you know the reasons, if I am going to kill a person in this life, I'm going to be killed in the next life. That is just a normal, what is the voorbeeld? Example. Thank you.
But Adams, most Christians, they don't believe in karma because they believe that Jesus died for all of their sins. That's why they come to you for advice after that. But actually, they cannot say that this happened to me. Why?
Yes.
But they pray to a God that's not even a God, and they believe that He died for their sins. So everything that they do wrong is already paid for. So
You know,
don't worry.
something the church created them to fall by that rule. Because if the Most High, if your God says no, this one has lived a life without sin, he never ever transgressed the cosmic law, so he must now be murdered on a cross. But I who murdered people and steal their stuff, I can go free. Does it sound to you a logic God? On that bench? No, sorry, I will not even listen to you.
Which brings us to the cosmic law of fairness. Fairness. Should the sinless die for the sinners?
Yeah, and should we as light side representative practice brown nosing to be in a job position while there are other more qualified persons in line? If you think about that, you people out there especially, I'm sure if I'm going to ask you, who do you, who listen to me now, who do you know who's a brown noser. Going and do brown nosing to get a job, to beep somebody. You know, the boss likes rugby and brandy. Oh, I hate brandy, but tonight I'm going to drink myself to hell, and I'm going to watch rugby, because then the boss will
Yeah.
favor me for the next position. You are false if you do that, so don't even think about it.
The next important cosmic law we would like to discuss is the cosmic law of merit. Merit as a verb, merit means to deserve or deserve.
You cannot get something if you don't deserve it. I mean, this is a light side law. We are not on the dark side who said, no, you steal because steal is steal. No, you don't do that. We live not by that law. Sorry for them.
There is an example that I've thought of to bring in at this point. If you meditate and you're channeling, you're only going to get things through that you deserve to get. And you're only going to get things that's going to help you on your path with your duty that you've got. Not someone else's.
You know, in the true light side, if I, let's say I'm a father of 5 children, more or less the same age. Now I come home and I saw this 4 didn't do anything today, but this guy worked in the garden. Give him $5 or whatever for the day. Now, in Christianity, it doesn't work that way. In our world, Brahmist world, the light side world, if you deserve something, doesn't matter who's here, you get the price or the pay for what you did. Not the rest. In Christianity, no, you cannot give for Johnny and all the others cannot have. Whether you worked or not, all must have the same. Rubbish. You can live like that. We don't live like that. Oh, no, definitely not. That is as good. Yanni is now in grade 5, but due to the fact that Yanni lived, now all the other people can just pass through the standard because Yanni learned. They didn't learn. This is how it works here. It works not where we come from. And it should not work like that on earth. Now the cosmic laws or the universal laws remind me of the rules under which I was raised as a child. It is good manners, you know, towards the Most High and the true light side kingdoms. With the above mentioned information in mind, we are finished now with those cosmic laws. Let's discuss and analyze the mentioned problems, concepts. Number 1, where was God when my child was killed by a reckless driver? You know what? One day a woman entered my consulting room. A car or her daughter were in a terrible car accident and she died. And this mom was stunned. I must demonstrate, you know, how she reacted. When I said to her, I'm so sorry to hear this, her words was, I hate him, I gave him orders, why didn't he do it, I hate him. You know, it was on the tip of my tongue to say, get out. Satan yourself, get out. You don't talk of my God in front of me because he's a real God. He's the Most High. He is not your slave. But let's go to it. All right, let's analyze what was the ID of this first case that I've just mentioned. She was a Christian. In other words, did she believe in any other thing like to be in charge of her own life on earth and to enslave or make of her God a servant?
Yeah.
Yes, so this is what she didn't. The first rule was not really that ignorance. She didn't identify herself. She declared her as God and God of her church. here in South Africa was the servant
Yeah.
who will, according to her, on her demand, look after her child. You know, I mean, I cannot even imagine people to think that way. How no, you know, come to another person stating that. Where was he? You know, I hate him. He didn't do what I tell him to do. Right, ignorance. So she declared herself as God, and God was her servant. So she didn't know who she was, and the second thing is ignorance. She ignored the cosmic laws as such. Because why? She's a Christian. She goes to Christian church every Sunday. She doesn't believe in anything else than in this. Know your Hefkanam in everything you do. The cosmic law that Kabos gave you. Did she know the Most High in everything we do? No, she decided for herself what was right and what was wrong. And even if God, the Most High, transgressed her rules, she hates him. Huh? Can you imagine? Mm-mm. You know, on the other hand, she could be in the first life on earth, knowing nothing. But I mean, why? She could have, there's a lot of people who in one life can grow to full enlightenment. Why not her? So ignorance, she ignored every law on the book. And she stick to what the church taught that you are God. You tell God what he must do or not. Go to little Yanni to school, bring him safe homely in the name of Jesus. Go with this one, go with that. So she didn't know her Hefkanam in any way because she was not in his service, she didn't believe in him, she was out of everything I know. What about action and reaction? Just the fact that she cursed him literally. What's going to happen? I don't even want to discuss it. It will be definitely maybe a degrading. But I don't know to which dark side, because her whole attitude is dark side from the start. So where she's going to land, I don't know. I hope she came to her senses in the meantime and, you know, got on her knees and prayed to the Most High and fight for her own survival while she's here in a body. Otherwise, it's going to be too late for her. Fairness. Was it fair that she deserved somebody to... You should be in the service of a real God, not a church-created God, before you can accept or expect them to help you. I must not go to any company and say, listen, I want a salary. All these people who work for you get salaries. I also want a salary. All these people's houses are being protected. I also want my house too, but I don't want to work for you. How many brain cells do you need to think that way? Huh? And where do you come from as a consciousness giving life form? It's not fair. True identification, I've discussed that. She didn't know what she were. Merit, did she deserve? Or did the child deserve to be protected? So by the way, the child was not a child anymore, but a student, you know, already. Unity, did she practice a lifestyle that was in favor of the bigger unity of the light side kingdoms, or did she practice a lifestyle that was beneficial for everybody in all dimensions of the dark side? So yes.
In the next example, where was God when I was nearly destroyed by my parents? Arends, I believe you have an example.
Yes, thank you, Liska. Before I start with that, I would just want to say something else. If you know people whose children was, let's say run over by a car or killed in a car accident or so, and you want to be angry towards your God, please go and rethink it over. A man visited my consulting room because he developed a very aggressive cancer. According to the oncologist he consulted, he had only a few months left to live, which was also a lie because after 3 weeks he died. He wanted to hear from me, where was the old boss up there? When his father nearly destroyed his life when he was a child, and I answered the man that God was with him all the way. I asked him a few questions. Now listen to this now. This guy developed, he had actually a good life. He was very high ranking in public administration here in South Africa. Anything was good. He had enough money. His kids were okay. He had a good wife. He's very calm. He likes dogs, everything. But then all of a sudden, when he came to me, I wish I could say it to you directly in Afrikaans as he said it to me. It actually is no respect towards the God. I've got a case with the old boss up there. I asked him in which God did he believe. His answer was that he was a Christian as all the others around him. Wrong choice, friend. Free will choice. Wrong choice. On the wrong side of the river. Why do I say that? You cannot walk away from the light and then expect the light to shine on you if you are wandering in the darkness all the time. I mean, it cannot.
If you go there, it will consume you.
I mean, the fact that I say he was an ordinary Christian, he believed. I asked him how often he enjoyed two-way communication sessions with his God. You know what he did? What do you read from this? 0. Didn't even understand. He just pulled up his shoulders and showed me a 0 sign with his fingers. In other words, two-way communication between him and his God was absent. He ignored the chance to learn to communicate two-way with his Creator. Now, we can always say that he was brought up by his Christian parents, and that is why he's now a Christian in this life. But my question is, I was also raised up as a Christian, but as soon as I was out under the roof of my earth parents, I started my own way to follow the Most High. It's my choice. I'm out of their house. I'm not going to be part of their religion just to inherit one day from them. No, definitely not. So maybe his God answered him. This is what I said to him. But since he preferred to be a Christian like all the others around him, a little follower of the mainstream, he never learned how to listen to the voice of his God. Timbaramis, which cosmic laws did this man transgress?
All of them.
All of them, what we know of. First thing, he was Christian, which means what? He is God. God is his servant. Because this is how Christians pray, and then they always come with this old sad story of The Bible says that if everything I ask the Most High in the name of Jesus, He will give. What have I taught since the beginning? Test what you hear. If a person comes to you and he says, my God is Jesus, and my God said, according to the Holy Bible, in Matthew so and so, that everything you ask my Father in my name, He will give you. I can promise you Jesus or Joshua Redorpa did not say that. And there's a very good reason I say that we didn't say that. It was been put in by the church. You know, what else is there that you can add to what I just said?
Yeah, he ignored basically the Most High and all of
he
his
never
ways.
made the
An
Most High
effort.
part
Yeah.
of his life, so he didn't deserve to. He deserved to get what he got because he didn't know the Most High.
I mean, if I must be the Most High's advocate, you know, a lot of people calls me a devil's advocate because I investigate everything and I measure it against what? The contents of the cosmic laws. Now, if a lot of Christians came to me also saying, yeah, but you know, you say I cannot tell God to go there. It's not that I order Him, but listen to their words. They don't ask. They say, please go. That is not, will you please protect my child? And if not, tell me what. No, they don't do that. Oh God, Sissy is ill today. Please help her to recover. And God, my son must go on a road trip to, let's say, Gauteng. Be his God and bring him safely home in Jesus' name. You know, stuff like that. That is orders that you give. It is not a request. And even if you are requesting that, it is not fair to request something that is not fair to have.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot be ignorant to each and everything from the real life side kingdoms, but you want the benefits from them as well. It doesn't work that way. And know your Hefkenam in everything you do, that he transgressed that. Yes, he didn't. Action and reaction.
He deserves what he actually.
And you know what? As I remembered him, he was a believer in karma. Because he referred to some family members of him that, wait, karma can be A, and he used the words B-I-T-C-H, a big bitch, you know, and he wished them on his sisters, etc. But in any case, so did he, was there any fairness? We are sorry. If somebody comes to you and asks you, my God said whatever I can ask in the name of Jesus he will give me. Go and test it against the cosmic laws and say, Most High, in the name of Jesus, I request you to let what is a koets, a couch, what,
Yeah.
a bag of money fall from the heavens, because he said anything. There's no, you know, something that's not part of the anything. So the whole fact is they believe in stuff that was not from the beginning measured against the wisdom of the cosmic laws. Merit and unity, what would you say to that?
He got what he deserved,
Yes?
and he didn't think that his choices for not believing in the or not following the Most High, he didn't see that that is going to negatively influence
Thank
the
you, thank you.
community.
The next case refers to where was God when I was molested as a child?
All four of us and a great percentage of you as our friends watching this program was sexually molested as small children. Here is one rule you should understand when it comes to sexual molestation. Listen carefully what I'm going to tell you now. It's not actually a secret, it's actually logic. I am a gay man because listen now to this rubbish. I'm a gay man because I was sexually molested by another gay man or by my father, but a man. Does it sound logic to you? No, definitely not. The reason is invalid. Why? And the reason for the invalidment of this reason is as follows. I was sexually molested by a niece. This is not true. I, LT Zator, in the body of Eris Jordan, was sexually molested by a niece of mine when I was 4 or 5 years of age. I think it was 4 years and 9 months or so. She was supposed to look after me, but instead she rubbed my face in her sex organs until she ejaculated. She was about 15 years old. My mind rejected the whole deed until a psychiatrist practiced a narco-analysis on me. I was then 22 years of age. Now, during the sexual molestation, I couldn't breathe. I got a small stroke. You know, they've got that huge tape recorders and they inject you, and to you it feels like you're now gone. You're sleeping now. But then he starts asking you questions. And you cannot lie to him. And he goes back in time. And he went back until I was 4 years of age. And he gave me a test. You know, if I do this part is dead, it's lame. This can lift up high. Because of that I was nearly out of my body.
And how did you handle it?
I consulted a Gerub or a Gerub angel. His name was Hifau, or Hifau as we refer to him. And his name means God of wisdom and knowledge. He explained the following. He said to me, you know, it was actually a whole conversation. When we were together, I said, Hifau, where were the angels when I was molested? He said, they're with you. I said, yeah, why didn't you do something? Because you had to be molested for a specific reason. And I said to him, but why? He said, look at your seat line. It must come to a conclusion. That is why the Most High put you in that body. And He let you be molested so that there's no chance that you will ever be able to evoke children ever again to carry on the seed line you are in. I was sent to end the seed line. This is what happened. But I had to go through very horrible stuff for them to make sure that I will never ever. And you know, it is like that. You know, you went through more or less the same story or reality. And the fact is that if a man molested you as a boy or as a teenager, you will never ever get sexually aroused by a man ever again. So don't come to me and say, a man molested me and now I'm gay. This is rubbish. It doesn't exist. If you are a gay woman who was sexually abused by another gay woman, you would never ever get sexually aroused by a woman ever again. Am I right?
Yes.
Yep,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, I think they were now very far back in history with themselves. sorry that you had to recall, but I think you all have worked it out already. If you are a gay man and you endure constant emotional pain since your parents or family reject you because you are gay, please, you can go now to our website. It's already been translated. It is on there under the more info, the little subdivision more info. It is there. You can just get it up. I did intensive research on where the Bible got the info from, starting that if a man has sexual intercourse with another man, both men should be killed. Those words, my beloved gay friends out there, didn't come out of the mouth of a real God or a real Hefkenam, or out of the mouth of the most Toratere High, Yahweh Goria. In short, it contains the following information. In the days of Israel, when they were in Egypt to serve the Pharaoh of Egypt 431 years, during one of the times when Seti II, he wanted to have a city of some or other things, you know, that can show his power on earth or whatever. And so he sent Moses to go and build that city. His other son, or his sister's son, Ramses, he gave him a bottle and he said, you know what? All the seers in Egypt says that a deliverer will come to free the tribe of Israel. If you get the deliverer, bring him to me in chains. If you don't find him, bring me the empty bottle back. And he went. So Moses went and he erected the city for Seti. But during that whole thing, you must actually go and see the movie, The Ten Commandments, to see how big that task was. But during, you know how it goes, the one, if you are constructing, let's say, a huge building, and you are behind time, you must work overtime to come there, because it was worked out how long exactly, if there's no problems and if everybody does his part of the job in the time for that little job, then it will be finished in time. If not, they have to work overtime, which they did. And Moses saw that the men were really, you know, they put them in where the city must be built. All the men, boys included, 12 years and older, they go there. All the women, they are 80, 90 miles per horse or camel away from there. So, and the men are guarded. They cannot go there and have, you know, make love to their wives or so. They don't have wives for 431 years. So, when Moses came and he saw this, he was kind-hearted. He said, okay, let's give you one day rest, which we will call the day of Amun-Ra, which was the god of Egypt in those days. And they were so glad, they actually called it not the day of Amun-Ra, but the day of Moses. We all know that the first day of the week, Sunday, is Amun-Ra's day. Belongs to no other Hefkenam than to him. But then, on the Monday, the second day of the week, Moses will discover that they didn't prepare the necessary bricks on that Monday. You know, it was off. It was as if they were extremely tired or overworked and underpaid.
Yeah.
Something like that. But in any case, then a lot of things happened. But eventually, he declared a rule. That was Moses. he said, because they investigated, and what did they see? On a Sunday, those people are having sexual intercourses with one another. It was something horrible because there were no women for them. Then Moses said, if I find a man, no, not even Moses. Moses was just the person who carried over. Seti was not very comfortable because there was a chance that the city of his jubilee will not be erected in time. So then he said, okay, me as Seti, go and tell your tribe that I said, a man, if you find a man having sexual intercourse with another man, they will both die. Now, we all know that, what was, it was put in the Bible under Mosaic laws, if I pronounce it correct, etc., etc. Now, in my case, I was still underage when I was molested. What happened to me happened with the full authorization of the Most High Torah Yahweh Goria. With very good reason, the seed line of my seed line must come to a conclusion. So,
where was God during my divorce? I heard these words from a lot of divorced women. Are we going to use the same wisdom from the cosmic laws to analyze this case study?
Yes, Nikita, we are going to do the same. Eliska, sorry. My mind is wandering because as far as you read, I'm collecting pictures in my mind and stuff that happened, etc. The idea of the person, do we know? Yes, he was Christian. There was 100 of them, thousands of them, yes, so I can tell you for sure. Question. Then, the ignorance, did she ignore? Yes, because when she, if you are underage and you are under the roof of your parents here on earth, you cannot do what you want. I mean, nowadays you can, because it's a Satan's law that is, the whole Child Act of America has been brought over here because we haven't got another act, so they just took it over. And now it's rubbish. So that she had a chance when she was out of her mother's house to decide which God she was going to follow. If she was serious from the start, which she was obvious not. I mean, if you want to, in the first place, if you know the God you pray to in everything you do, and you can communicate two ways as it should be. I would have, if I were in her body, I would have said, Most High Lord, is it possible for me to may know if there's a soulmate for me in future? How am I going to hear him if I don't practice? There's a lot of ways you can find out, but now you get the feeling, of course I will. Now you meet people. This guy is a Christian. Now I don't like Christians, so not that I don't like them, but their way of living. So his way of living and mine is not going to work out. So no, she didn't do that. She decided for herself who her husband will be, whatever. And as I said in the previous program, if you stand in front of a dominee or a father or for whatever, and he says to you, Nikita, do you promise God before this congregation that you will stick to, let's say, Tom, Peter or Pan, till death do you part? What are you actually doing? You actually shows a middle finger to the Most High, where he says you must know him in everything you do. You cannot, knowing that there's a council plan and that he has his own plans for you, if you are one of his chosen ones, light side ones, If not, there's no plan for you. But in any case, how can you, maybe he's got 2 or 3 or 4 husbands for you in your lifetime. How can you tell him, listen, God, I don't care what you have for me in your counsel plan. I'm telling you, I will stay with this woman till death do us part. It's the satanic. So get rid of that thing and go the proper way. We are going to discuss, the proper way, how to get married and when to have children and how to know the Lord thy God in that and how to receive the answers, etc. Action and reaction, was it in place? Of course, if you want to be in the steering wheel of your own life, this is going to happen. So don't come and moan about it. Don't ask where I was. You didn't want to learn to communicate 2 ways with me like the Buddhists and all the Eastern nations do. You want to be a Western Christian without knowing what God wants to say to you. So what else is there? Fairness, does she deserve? Of course she deserves. She cannot go and make contracts against him, telling him, listen, somewhere in my mind, I know you've got a council plan in place, but no, this is my life. I'm going to decide for myself. Fair, go. True identification of the self. No, she declared herself as God, and God was her servant who should see that everything she demands from him will fall in her sleeve. The merit, was there any merit?
Yes, she got what she deserved.
What she deserved. And unity, who did she dishonored in that way?
The Most High and the true light
And
side.
the true light side, yes. Yes.
Where was God when I had a stillborn child? Arons, please share the case we studied together.
Thank you, Kabosi. What a brilliant question. I was visited by a young woman of 23 years of age complaining that she had a stillborn baby and could not sensibly process the birth of her stillborn. I explained to her how the true light side deities work, whether she believed it or not. They, as all created deities or Efkanams in corroboration with, but serving under the Most High, are in charge, not us as humans. Do you understand that? They are in charge. If you are in an army or a defense force or wherever there are ranks, and you are a corporal, you cannot go to the general and say, hey, how you do it? You know what? No, it doesn't work. You go to your immediate superior. He will go to his immediate. He will go to the lieutenant, to the captain, to the so-and-so until it reaches. You cannot just think you can do whatever you want to do. They are in charge, not us. We must know them as deities in all the things we do. In every choice we as individuals make, we must know Him. His will, not our will. Something that makes me very sad is this I, or the me. This is my life. I will do what I love. I wish you will all kill that I and me and my in your lives. You don't have a life, my dear. You are, whether you believe it or not, you are in service of a real God, whether He's dark side or light side. And if you pretend not to know, or you say, well, it's your choice not to know. It is your choice. It's your decision, not ours. They, as rulers of the universes, know the best because they know the counsel plan of the Most High Toratri Yahweh Goria. There's all created deities or Hefkanams also wants to perform, get promoted, etc. Do you think it's possible? Of course, as above, so below, as below, so above. Of course, do you think they work for nothing? No, the more they are getting, I mean, if you start working, let's say, for a bank, now you're a junior clerk, but you're going, you SWAT bank management, international bank management, you know, whatever there is. The more you SWAT, you higher you are going to be promoted. I mean, they cannot put you, who knows nothing about banking, to be the CEO of X Bank of Africa or wherever. No, it doesn't work that way. You will deserve fair whatever. You know, you cannot even think of persons or entities or life forms knowing the best for you as a person out there, or me also. We know them in everything we do. They, as all created deities or Efkanams, also want to perform, and therefore they stick as close to the council plan wherever they can. I mean, if they go to the Most High and say, listen, Ernst doesn't want to listen, or El Tisator doesn't want to listen to me anymore, he decided to be on the, what are the Most High going to say? Retreat, come, let he do his own work on earth. You're not going to help him, he's not in my service anymore. Bye-bye, El Tisator,
Yes.
there you go. Now, yeah, they created humanities. Names are individually written in the council plan of the Most High Turatri Yahweh Goria. Now, if you are a Christian out there and you don't believe in this stuff, maybe in the next life you will, but I can promise you this is how it works. They decide the future of each consciousness giving life form they created. They are in charge. I mean, if you, let's say you made a little table like this one. It is your table. Are you going to let other people decide on the fate of that table? No, it's your table. It's your task what to do with it. Now, the Most High Turatri Yahweh Goria do the same with every consciousness giving life form he created. They, as deities, work close and parallel with the Most High Turatri Yahweh Goria's council plan. And always remember that you and your wife created a human body to be born out of your wife. That small body developing in the womb is alive, but without a consciousness giving life form inside of it, it still needs a consciousness giving life form to give consciousness to it. Otherwise, it will be alive, but in a coma without a consciousness giving life form in it. Always keep the warning in the Christian Bible in mind. New Testament, 4th book, the Gospel according to St. John. You know, and you must read chapter 1, verses 12 and 13. Just want to correct this. The split between who can become a child of the Most High and who cannot, due to the way the human bodies that they have to give consciousness to were created. The whole endless space all around us in all directions functions automatically. People refer to it as a matrix. It's not really a matrix, but it works like a matrix. Do you remember how I explained to you the programming of all life forms functioning in all universes? If this happens as an action, that will happen as a counter reaction. It sometimes happens that a consciousness giving life form slips through the dimension veils which was not supposed to slip through. Keep the same measurement of all dimensions in mind. Why do I say that? How many dimensions are there? We've just read about dimension or heaven, 190,009. Now, how many are there? Endless, endless, endless. The consciousness giving life form who slept through are already in the womb of this pregnant woman. Therefore, the all-creator Hefkanams, or maybe the Most High Self, will take back what belongs to him. In other cases, the Most High or the appropriate All-Creator Ephgenams will see negative forthcoming happenings which will not benefit his consciousness-giving life form. And then he will take it back. Now, for the best part, under normal circumstances, according to council plan, the same, this is an ancient wisdom secret you should take care of. I'm going to read it again. Under normal circumstances, according to the council plan, the same consciousness-giving life form will come back when the time in the future is better for it. They as deities will allow the same consciousness-giving life form to go back to where it was previously stillborn. Now, I've had a lot of persons that I actually consulted, and then just to check, before I have they must book and say, I'm coming to see you due to a stillborn baby that I had and I cannot come over it. So I do my preparations, and I will ask in advance to the Most High and his guides that was appointed over us, this specific lady. I'll show the photo, the date of birth, everything, what's going to happen here, and they will tell me. And you know what? I would like to share with you. You know what happened actually? The lady came to me and she said, okay, she was married to, let's call the guy John. But they are married now for over 8 months or so, and she couldn't get pregnant. You remember it. And I had the answer already for her. Of course, I consulted, and they said, Yeltisator, what you are not going to say to her is the following. Her beloved husband is going to end up in jail within the next 7 months due to the fact that he smuggles drugs, which is also a reason why that lady is light side. He's not light side. So they will keep it, she will, a baby will be born when it is somebody else. And remarkably it happened. She had a baby, it was a stillborn eventually, and then she started to focus on what I said because she didn't want to listen. Yeah. But in any case, when we consulted, they said when the guy are going to be in prison, she will meet somebody else because he's going to get about 20 to 30 years in prison for what he did. And it wasn't only smuggling, he was in for murder as well. But in any case, and I didn't tell that to her. I just said to her, listen, carry on with your life, but I can promise you that the real baby will come when it is the correct time for that. And you know what happened? That guy was caught 7 months after that. She was hysterical. Why didn't you tell me? You're a fortune teller. I said, I'm not going to tell you stuff that will make you go and commit suicide or something. Yeah. No need to tell you that, but you can get divorced. I know your husband's going to get, I think it was 30 years max. But in any case, and then she got a new lover. They got married and she got pregnant again, and the baby were born, so. And I asked once again, and they said, yes, it's the same consciousness-giving life form we put back. Another case is where the lady said to me, she was also very young, she said, I cannot get pregnant because, I don't know why, but when I woke up, I will see a snake around my tummy. And I thought, this is another one, let's consult. And I consulted and I said, no, it's only, they actually reminded me on a case study in the Bible, in the Deuterocanonical books, in that one, what is its name? In any case, the guy you should know, where he went with the angel Michael and Torbet. Torbet is the book. You know, and also they used a demon to keep that girl a maiden, so that nobody, you must remember in those days you must first go in and prove yourself to be a man, and when you get out and the virgin now is not there anymore, then you are in fact already married, you know, according to them. But nobody was able to do that because they must drop dead before they could do it. I think it was about 11 or a lot of them. They thought that lady was cursed. And then when he did what he had to do, nothing happened, and she was his bride. So they used a demon to keep her safe so that she can be one day this man's bride. In this case, the woman, the same, they used a demon to seal up her womb so that she cannot become pregnant until the time is more correct for her. So you out there now, you know how that also works. And
The next topic to discuss is, where was God when the savages killed my son?
I was finished with the compiling of this program when one guide whispered in my ear, add the following topic to your list, which I did. I know that there must be an urgent reason why this sad topic must be added. Some of you out there needs it. So listen, and if it's not applicable to you but you know somebody else, please send or share this whole thing with them, and we can help them as well.
Let's discuss the following. ID of the person which we don't have.
Both the two persons I used the example of were Christians.
Okay.
Right. Did they ignore?
If there's persons, yes.
In what way?
The guides would have given them warnings not to go or not to do that, and
Yes.
they
Yes.
didn't listen, so they ignored the.
Yes.
And you know, before we go on, if you think of, no, you will not know it, but it is also Ancient Wisdom Secrets. If you, it is in one of the many programs that we are compiling, where we discuss a lot of this.
The one of the previous programs does have that the
Section why it's so important to be able to two-way communicate
Yeah.
with your Creator.
Yes.
Thank you, Nikita. Yes, it's very.
from
You know, if you think of
Yeah.
it, since the beginning of the first humanity, the Creator gods and the Most High stay. They walked among their creations for 2,000 years, and then they departed back to there. So for 2,000 years, if we were in that time span and we don't know something, we go to God and we ask Him. And He will direct us and we will do it. Now, there's no telephones or anything, walkie-talkies or what. Now they go back to Ritmos, which is light years away from here. How are we going to ask what is right and what is wrong? Two-way communication was said. You were programmed as a human to be able to do that. So the program is inside you. You just need to put it in action so that it can be there.
practice and listen.
And did they know their Hefkenam in anything they did? No, they didn't even ask him. They decided who they wanted to marry, at what age they want to marry, with whom they want to marry, when will they get a child, etc., etc. So everything was missed. So unity, what is the big unity experienced by these two ladies? Sad history case. They were actually what? It was not bad luck for the greater unity, but it was negative because
it's
this
negative
girl is now
influence.
going to be negative, crying her eyes out due to a baby that's now lost. I mean, it's logic.
Vibrations
They
down,
will.
so-
If I'm a woman, I will do the same. But if I know of better, I will not do the same.
Yeah.
Then I know much better. Action and reaction, 100%, not your will, but his will. Therefore, you will have the child when it suits him. Unless you are dark side, and then you know you can do whatever you like. This is why our world is in such a state of true lightlessness. I hope that if you, as a consciousness giving life form, are angry towards your God because he did do that, he didn't do what you told him to do or expect him to do, this program have brought light on the matter. Your God is always there. But you have, if you are a light side person, a consciousness giving life form, even if you don't, you can be a young one, it's first life, second life on earth. You don't know of better, that's why you know in Christianity we're all there. Not a problem, but learn who you are. You cannot, if you're a corporal, go to the general and tell him what to do. He's going to give you 2 middle fingers. You have the 1 middle finger. It doesn't work that way. It's not being programmed to work that way, and it never will work that way. That is why people are having all those problems. Your God is always there, but you have to decide whether you want to be God at the steering wheel of your own life, or are you going to expect what you are and stop, or accept what you are and stop being angry towards your God.
In the next program, which will be program R, we will share ancient wisdom secrets on two-way communications with your true light side guides and deities. Please don't miss out on it. Two-way communication between true light side deities, and we are more needed than ever. Sorry, let me just repeat that. Please don't miss out on it. Two-way communication between true light side deities, and we are more needed than ever. Sorry. Please help us to help others by pressing the subscribe, like, and the little bell icon to be in line for more ancient wisdom secrets. Please share this program with so many people as you can.
And friends out there, until we gather again for another interesting topic, love and light to all of you, and don't forget to share. Bye.
Bye.